All right, Patrick Ebert here at the Hitters Academy. I want to have my next two guests introduce themselves for me, please. We'll start with you, Will.
My name's Vierling. I'm a catcher. I go to Homestead High School in Mequon, Wisconsin. I guess my best memory here is winning the Wilson Premier down in Florida. That was really fun. I was the only catcher down there, so I guess it was extra special for me. I guess so. That was pretty fun.
Okay.
My name is Gavin. I'm a shortstop from Milton High School in Milton, Wisconsin.
Okay, great. Let's start this atmosphere. You guys have been all over with both the hitters and for personal stuff. You know, like you've been at All-American games, you've been at like area code games, East Coast Pro, all those big national events for both personally as a team. Would you trade any of that for like these moments with your teammates indoors? It's 20 degrees outside here in Wisconsin, but you're indoors right now having a blast.
I would say no. I think the atmosphere in here is electric, would be my way of describing it. I think just overall, like, we've competed with each other for the last 4 years. We've been together since freshman year. You know, we made a commitment to playing with hitters in this team and growing as a group. I think overall we've done that. You know, we've got a lot of guys. Everyone's going to college and playing baseball somewhere after high school, which is pretty exciting. And I think overall, man, these moments are fun. I mean, being from a small town area, like all of us are from the Milwaukee. You know, I'm probably the farthest one that travels here from Milton, you know, Madison area. But you know, it's a little area with a lot of kids going somewhere special, and it's a good group of competitive kids. So I wouldn't trade this for the world.
Okay, feel the same way, Will?
I feel the exact same way. I mean, playing with these group of guys, it's always, like Adam said, it's electric. It's always competitive. It's just you have just so much fun. We really have a tight connection with this group of guys down here. I mean, we're always competing, fighting against each other, and it's a blast.
I mean,
so much
I
fun.
think you just heard the electricity when during Will's at bat. Everyone was screaming and everything. Like it gets like that in here, man. It's fun. It's competitive, and competitiveness brings greatness out of everyone. So it just makes us that much better for the high school season and anything else that we carry through after that.
Well, and that diving play by a first baseman. I mean, he wants to get you out,
and that's
right?
an outfielder. That's a center fielder.
So he's not messing around. Like he wants to make sure that you're not making first base, even if you're just having fun in the indoors here in February.
Yeah.
So
we're playing to win. I mean, we got a game going today. Normally we've been doing like 4 groups against different pitchers, but you know, today we have a small enough group with Illinois guys kind of being gone, you know, starting to leave and go to their game. So it's a 9-inning game, playing against each other, play to win.
Yeah.
Awesome.
National exposure that the two of you receive is something you've both had to deal with over your careers. You've been in enough opportunities here where you've traveled enough, you've seen it before. But what do you think separates you as players from being with the hitters program that you may have encountered even with other guys? You know, you make friendships from coast to coast. You know, so what are some of the things that you can kind of tuck in the back of your head and be like, oh, that's a little different, but I feel better where I'm at being from Wisconsin, learning it this way. We'll start with you, Will.
I feel like kind of going through all those experiences. I think kind of maybe the speed of the game it's a lot. Those big events and stuff is a lot faster, I guess, than maybe some local stuff. I guess here, it's just everyone there is, you know, pitchers are pumping up upper 90s. It's the same thing there. It's electric. It's fun. You're always playing to win. The competitiveness. It's all great.
And what have you noticed?
I think the adversity that we have to deal with here in Wisconsin is a lot harder than those guys. Just being a nicer, you know, warmer climate year-round, they get to practice outside. I mean, we're just blessed enough to have RJ and have this facility for us to use. But other than that, I mean, everyone's using cages at homes and little stuff like that because there's no place to go outside. I mean, it's snowing. It's 20 degrees out. No one wants to go outside and do that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's nice. The adversity we have to deal with to get to the same level that those guys are at and compete and show that we can hang with those guys is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And we've talked before, and you've mentioned having a cage in your house. You know, your dad obviously has a playing and coaching experience, so, you know, you may have some opportunities that other players don't have. You also live further away, as you started off than most people. But if you don't have those opportunities, you know, but you have this 40,000 plus square foot facility here where you have a full size infield. So when you do go down south and you play these guys, and they're, you know, probably in the back of your head you're thinking like, yeah, they probably think we're from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. We probably can't pick it as well as them. We probably can't hit it as well as them.
Take us a little lightly.
So yeah, do you play with a little chip on your shoulder?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think my competitiveness and kind of like that confidence I have in myself everywhere I step, just because the amount of reps I take on and off the field and outside of my practices and the work I put in outside, is I just trust my abilities and just play with what I know and play with my skills and go with that and keep my confidence up.
Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, I mean, you walk around and you see these big teams from like Georgia. They're just like, oh, this team's from Wisconsin. We should like run right over them. And you're like, well, no, we're just as good, probably better than you guys are. We want to beat them. And so it's just we play with a little bit more fire, and it just helps us get a little edge against those other teams.
Yeah, you don't go in there just hoping to play well. You expect to win, right?
Yeah. Always play to win.
Yeah. Tell me about the experience of the guys, both Louisville commits, right?
Sure. Yep.
So Alex Benelis, in this facility over the winter, and Jared Kelnick was going to go to Louisville. Who do you got? Justin Levy had 4 years at Louisville. Yeah, Corey Ray. Yep, thank you. So like that familiarity, and obviously one of the best programs. I cover college baseball as well, and I see they're one of the best at year in, year out, turning over one team to the next. Tell me about, I'm sure that played a part in your decision, but what conversations did you have with some of those past hitters that helped you make that decision? And what did you see in Louisville? And what did this place itself help prepare you for that moment to take your game to the next level?
I think, so I haven't really had much contact a whole lot with those guys. I've had Vukovic has kind of been the guy that I talk to a little bit with conversations. I'll call him asking questions when he, if he ever's available and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I think Coach Snyder, the recruiting coordinator, I think him knowing that we're here and playing for RJ, I think that tough factor that a lot of the hitters guys have, that's what RJ brings. It's that very old school coach that you learn and you listen and you respect. It's a type of game that those coaches look for, I think.
Okay.
And they kind of talk about it a lot when I talk to Dan McDonald. It's the toughness that the hitters guys. He always brings it up every time I'm there.
It's a good point too. Sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned like that they know you're here, right? So they know that it doesn't end with the two of you, right?
Exactly.
And it didn't start, but it also doesn't end with the two of you.
Yes.
Right.
So you see the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like kind of what Gavin said. They know what they're getting out of us here because we're with RJ. The way what he expects out of us, the way he pushes us both physically, mentally, it's great. And so down at Louisville, they know what they're getting. They know they're getting tough guys who can handle it mentally and physically. And I talked to Alex Benelis a lot when I broke my hand. My handmate, he went through that exact same thing. So I talked to him a lot about that. That helped me get through this a lot quicker. He gave me a lot of advice about that, and that was really helpful to hear from him.
I want to ask about your injury. One, how you feeling?
Great.
Okay.
I'm like 100% basically.
And what are some of the things you learned? I mean, I think you brought up a great example, but when you rehab, some of those processes are just as important as learning the game, right? So you have to learn how to rehab the right way, take care of your body, and do those things to make sure when you come back, you're not going straight back to the DL essentially. Right. So, do you kind of experience similar situation?
The biggest thing that Alex told me was that I have to take my time. He said that that's the one thing he wished he would have done better is he said he rushed back into it a little too fast. So he told me really just to take my time, make sure you feel great, and that that you're not gonna hurt yourself. And he said whenever you feel anything, and even my doctor said whenever you feel anything, stop. It's because you don't want to. Because this is an injury that lingers more because there are a lot of those small nerves and ligaments and stuff in there that can easily hurt themselves back. And so like you said, it was more just having learning how to have patience with, because you want to get back out there, you want to play. That's all we've been doing here.
Yep.
So it was really a challenge to have the patience to know that I have to take my time in order to get back to where I want to be.
Okay. All the experiences you guys have had, and I enjoyed following like the social media, like the Van Rat stuff, so you can kind of watch you guys from afar and get a little glimpse into like the friendships that you've built. Can you talk a little about those experiences, especially with like Big Ro, Ro Coleman, who unfortunately passed away not too long ago. Talk about the importance he, as a coach, some of the other coaches, building these relationships with the players. What has that meant for you as people and players, just moving forward and just where you are at today?
I just think honestly those guys have been through it before us. They know what it takes. They've been through RJ's system or Ro. He played through through Triton College and played through JUCO and everything else he made through, and had his son helped out to go. Mm-hmm. So I think overall like all that is really helpful because all the information they've gathered over their years of baseball and years of going to separate places and seeing different things, different ideas, different types of stuff like that. I think it's crucial for baseball just overall to have everyone have different viewpoints, but to really what works for you and what you can implement into your game to get you better. I think Ro was a very good coach, and it was sad to hear when that happened. It really bothered me for a while. just because all the relationships we built with him and all, it was just sad to see that he was gone so quick. Just how much he did for baseball, how much he did for us, how much he cared about our success, and how much he wanted us to, succeed in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
RJ and Ro, they cared. I mean, they really just care. They care about each and every one of us here, and that shows. Even when Ro always told us, he said, "Hey, I don't care if it's 2 in the morning. If you want to call me up and talk baseball, we can talk baseball." He said, "I don't care if at whatever time you knock on my door, you want to go hit, I'll grab up some balls, let's go hit." It just shows how much he cared about us, how much he wanted us to succeed, and it showed what the kind of person he was. He was a great man. He was a great man.
yeah, that commitment goes two ways, right? Like
Yeah.
you commit to the program needs to commit back to you, and having those mentors, really, that's so important for you guys to enjoy success and continued success. And it's fun, like for me, my perspective, covering the Big Row tournament, just having the tournament named, and then I can watch hitters Navy on this field, and then there's hitters White behind me, and there's, teams from Illinois over here, and there's GRB over here. So, and just having this, all kind of come together is really what's impactful from an observer. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, for you guys, Louisville's next, maybe the draft, who knows, what's next? How do you prepare for that next step? What are you looking to do this spring as high school seniors to really make a name for yourselves? Go ahead.
Milton's a Division II conference, 800 kids. And, we get put up to D1 for baseball, and, we got preseason ranked 4, which it's a number. I mean, it's,
Sure.
But I'm trying to win state. I'm trying to prove a lot of people wrong with, it's Milton. A lot of people don't really expect us to do any good, small school, small town, small group of kids. But I'm just focused on playing with my high school kids and one last role in my 10U Mad Dogs team, because we got about 7 of us still playing, so we'll be probably starting. For me, it's just going to be have fun in the high school season, just have a good time, play baseball, and just win, compete.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Just have fun and then just play hard. You almost want to show everyone hey, I deserve to get drafted, or I deserve to play my freshman year. You want to show everyone that you deserve to be put there, and so that's how you want to play, and that's how you want to mentally look at it. Play with a little chip on your shoulder.
Sure.
You just want to prove everyone that you deserve to be where you are.
Okay.
Sure.
That's great stuff, guys. Thanks for sharing. Really appreciate it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.